निरीक्षण के लिए हाजिर है। जय श्रीमान। गार्ड बचाओ गार्ड सलमे दिखाओ सलमे सस गार्ड बचाओ सस गार्ड बगल सस जय श्रीमान। श्रीमान घाट विसर्जन करने की आपसे अनुमति चाहता हूँ। जय श्रीमान। घाट विसर्जन।
Good afternoon to all the dignitaries, galaxy of distinguished guests, teachers, students, supporting staff, press and electronic media. On behalf of Geetham, I extend a warm welcome to you all to its 37th Foundation Day celebrations. The greatest scientist of human mind, Buddha, said, when you focus on problems, you get more problems. When you focus on possibilities, you get more opportunities. Realizing the enormous potential of younger generation, Gita provides opportunities for all-round good education and training, especially in leadership in the ever-advancing fields of science and technology. This occasion also reminds us of the words of a philosopher and statesman, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan, who stated that all education is, on the one side, a search for truth. On the other side, it is pursuit of social betterment. Therefore, he comments that education should give the student not only intellectual stimulation, but a purpose. Geetam University, with its campuses in Visakhapatnam, Hyderabad and Bengaluru, prepares the young generation to meet the existing and emerging challenges so that not only their aspirations are satisfyingly fulfilled, but the country as a whole can indeed become a knowledge park. Geetam's contribution to science and society is also reflected through its policies, values, and its range of activities. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I welcome you all to the celebrations of 37th Foundation Day of Geetam. On this occasion, I take the pleasure of inviting an accomplished academician and adroit administrator, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Geetam University, Professor M.S. Prasad Rao Garu, to grace the dais. It gives me immense pleasure to invite an acclaimed academician, a renowned psychologist and philosopher of international repute, the Honorable Chancellor of Geetam University, Professor K. Ramakrishna Rao Garu, to grace the dais. Geetam, as it stands today as a world-class university, is the fruit of relentless struggle, impeccable and immaculate efforts of an ardent educationist and philanthropist. With great delight, I invite the visionary, whom this exemplary learning institute always salutes, the Honorable President of Geetam, Dr. M.V.V.S. Murthy Garu, to grace the dais. Geetam Daigakuno Soritsu, Kinenbini, Nobel Show, Jushasho O, Echiban Chief Gestoto, Dekerukotoga, Geetam Daigakuno, Nentaikini, Konohinichi, Sudasarite Imas, Mayo Aru, Dr. Takaki Kajita Sano, Sotesu Mani, Odasira, Tokenda. Ladies and gentlemen, this day will go down in annals of the history of Geetam, as we have today with us an unassuming personality, a renowned researcher of scholastic achievements, a Nobel laureate in physics for the year 2015, distinguished professor and director of Institute for Cosmic Ray Research, University of Tokyo, Japan, Dr. Takaki Kajita. I am privileged to invite Dr. Kajita to grace the dais as the esteemed chief guest of the day.
Vande Mataram, Vande Mataram, Sujalam, Subalam, Malayaj Sheetalam, Shasya Shamalam Mataram, Vande Mataram. Shubhra-jyosna pulakitayamini Pullakusumita drumadala shobhini Suhasini sumadhura bhashini Sukhadam varadam mataram Vande mataram Vande Mataram.
Now, I request the esteemed chief guest of the day, Dr. Takaki Kajita, to light the lamp. I request all the dignitaries on the dais to join the chief guest. Sir, now I invite the Vice Chancellor of Geetham University, Professor M.S. Prasad Rao to address the gathering.
Honorable Dr. Takaki Kajita, Director of Institute of Cosmic Ray Research, Tokyo University. Honorable President, Dr. MBBS Murthy garu, Honorable Chancellor, Professor K. Ramakrishna Rao garu, respected Vice President M. Karnataka Rao garu, members of the governing body, members of the management, Pro-Vice Chancellors, heads of institutes, registrar, heads of departments, faculty, staff, and students. Distinguished invitees, press, and electronic media. A good evening to you all. I extend a hearty welcome to all of you to the 37th Foundation Day celebrations of Geetham. Today, we are pleased to welcome Dr. Takaki Kajita, who won the 2015 Nobel in Physics. For his discovery of neutrino oscillations, which showed that neutrinos have mass, contrary to the assumption in the standard model that neutrinos are massless. This is a historic discovery because it helps the cosmologists to understand the evolution of the universe, supernova explosions, and a lot of cosmic phenomena. This discovery has changed the very concept of fundamental particles. We are indeed very grateful to you, sir, for accepting to receive Geetham Foundation Award and deliver the lecture. This is indeed a memorable day in the history of Geetham, and we are all honored and privileged to extend you a very cordial welcome. Geetham is fortunate to have Dr. M.B.V.S. Murthy garu, an outstanding visionary and a dynamic leader as its president, who has built an exemplary university that has created an enduring value to the nation. Our Honorable President has brought Mahatma Gandhi to the campus by naming the university as Gandhi Institute of Technology and Management. Our Honorable Chancellor has made Geetham the permanent home for Mahatma Gandhi by starting the School of Gandhi Studies on this campus. In its long journey, today is another milestone in the history of Geetham, as it has successfully completed 37 years as a reputed educational institution and 10 years as a premier university in the country. Now, Geetham has 3 well-developed campuses at Visakhapatnam, Hyderabad and Bangalore, 15 institutions, 10 faculties, 52 departments, 10 research centers, over 20,000 regular students, about 1,200 research scholars, 60,000 students in distance mode, and more than 1,200 committed teachers. Geetham offers 147 undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral programs in all the 3 campuses. The university is proud to place on the card that it has provided jobs to over 2,500 of its students in the current year, which is a record in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Thus, Geetham has emerged as one of the biggest universities of the state. During the past decade, after being recognized as a deemed university, Geetham has acquired many credentials. MHRD Government of India ranked Geetham as Category 1 university among the universities of its kind. UGC granted 12 status that enabled the university to get research funds from various organizations. Financial assistance was provided to the university by DST under TAKIP 2 and FIST programs. The university has formulated a perspective plan Vision 2025 for guiding the growth of the university during the next coming years. Coming to the achievements of the university, the details are given in the printed version of my address circulated to you. I would like to emphasize on a few of important ones. NAC has accredited the university with A+ grade, the best among the multi-faculty, multi-campus universities. The university has ISO certifications for quality management, environmental management, and information security management. We started Geetham FinTech Academy to offer technology-oriented financial programs. An MOU was also signed with School of Medicine, Stanford University, to establish a Center of Excellence in Life Sciences and Advanced Biotechnology with the Association of Andhra Pradesh Economic Development Board. Recently, we started a School of Nursing in Medical Campus since last year. To provide employable skills to students, several skill development centers were started in 3 different campuses in Geetham, in association with Cisco, IBM, Hitachi, Robert Bosch, and Dassault Systems. This year, we have introduced several new PG programs like MTech, Cyber Forensics and Information Security, MBA FinTech, LLM, MSc Pharma Chemistry, Master of Architecture, and several other UG programs. We have established an intellectual property rights cell which helped in creating awareness in faculty and researchers on intellectual property rights. It facilitated the patent filing process in the university. So far, 16 patents were awarded now and another 52 are in process. Center for Gandhian Studies was upgraded to a school to offer programs in social sciences, languages, and Gandhian philosophy. We have taken several novel initiatives like starting a research forum to bring various research groups onto a common platform and creation of facilities like cloud computing and GLab. We have strengthened Central Research Laboratory for interdisciplinary research and Advanced Research Laboratory for research in cancer biology, nanoscience, and new drug delivery initiatives. With this brief recap of Ethan's achievements, you can see in a very short span of time shows how dedication, commitment, and work ethic helped the university to progress. Despite all these accomplishments, I feel that Ethan's quest is far from over. We have to consider our gains and plan for future improvement. In this context, I would like to mention a few of the priorities areas in which our efforts need to be given further emphasis to achieve optimum results. I feel our faculty must undertake more consultancy assignments, organize executive development programs, introduce new academic programs of contemporary relevance, and commercialize patents to augment revenues of the university. We must use our resources optimally through efficient financial management, reduction of overheads, optimum use of energy, and minimizing wastage. Faculty should improve the quality of their publications with good citation index and high impact factor. Faculty must step up their efforts to schedule more research projects with financial assistance from funding agencies. We must further strengthen the existing 10 research centers already there on our campuses and elevate them to centers of excellence to promote interdisciplinary research in frontier areas. We need to focus more on implementing total e-governance in all spheres of the university to achieve paperless administration and increase the use of ICT for teaching, research, and administration. We should establish better industry-academic interaction, especially to provide effective industrial training to the students to improve their employability. All institutes must constitute to focus on recruiting eminent teachers and to maintain appropriate cadre strength in each discipline. Before I conclude, again, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Kakaki Kajita on his acceptance to receive Etham Foundation Award and deliver the endowment lecture today. I wish his discovery that changed the basic assumption of the standard model of the universe should help in better understanding of origin and evolution of the universe and should bring him more and more name and fame. Geetam wholeheartedly salutes this genius for his outstanding contribution to the field of science for the good of the humanity. Geetam is indeed indebted to you, sir, for your presence on the campus, and I am sure your presence here will provide our researchers with new energy and motivate them to pursue fundamental research. On this occasion, I profusely thank Dr. M.V.S. Murthy garu, Honorable President, Professor K. Ramakrishna Rao garu, Honorable Chancellor, and all the distinguished guests for their gracious presence here. I would like to place on record my deepest appreciation for the tireless efforts of all my beloved colleagues and express my sincere gratitude to the members of the governing body and board of management. Our thanks are also due to MHRD, UGC, state and central governments and other statutory authorities and funding agencies for their continued support and cooperation. Finally, I thank the guests, invitees, and the media friends for responding to our invitation and making the function a truly, truly memorable event. Thank you. Jai.
On behalf of the gathering, I thank the Vice Chancellor for giving an account of the achievements of Geetham in various disciplines and also throwing light on its future endeavors. Thank you very much, sir. I now invite the Honorable Chancellor of Geetham University, Professor K. Ramakrishna Rao Garu, to share his views with the audience on this occasion.
గీతం వ్యవస్థ స్థాపకులు మిత్రులు ఆత్మీయులు మా మూర్తి గారికి ఈనాటి విశిష్ట అతిథి డాక్టర్ టకాజీ ఖాజితా గారికి మన డైనామిక్ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్ ప్రసాదరావు గారికి ఈ సభకు చేసినటువంటి మీ అందరికీ నమస్కారం. As the Chancellor of this university, I deem it a great honor and equally great pleasure to have Dr. Kazita amidst us today. He is in some ways very atypical. A Japanese person, you expect him to be short. Oh, he, like his stature, he is tall. He is tall not only in his physical stature, he is tall in his academic stature, in his scientific stature, and I tend to believe in his stature as a true human being. His presence on the campus today, I expect, hope, and certainly wish would be a great inspiration for the young as well as established scholars in this part of the world, and especially at Geetham University. Geetham is named after Mahatma Gandhi. The credit for establishing this university goes to Dr. M.V.S. Muthigaru. His vision, his academic values is the respect for scholarship. I don't know, I was in the ICPR here and there, and suddenly he invites me to come and take up the position of the Chancellor of this university. And this is all due to his respect for scholarship, his interest in true academic values, in his vision to make this university not only a great university, but an ideal university. I thank him for the opportunities he had given to me to develop the School of Gandhian Studies here at Geetham University. Mahatma has been my inspiration. Mahatma has been equally the inspiration of Dr. Muthigaru. So we have this common link of sharing the Gandhian values. And therefore, I took it as a special occasion to dedicate my book, which will come out next month, entitled Gandhi's Dharma, to Dr. M.V.S. Muthigaru. I could have done it to the Prime Minister, to the Chief Minister, to X, Y, G, to many dignitaries, and I feel it a real obligation on my part to honor a man who truly imbibes Gandhian values. On this occasion, I would like to tell our young friends at Geetham, the students, and to some degree to our scholars as well. you please do not forget the inspiration behind this institution is Mahatma Gandhi. In fact, I have suggested to Dr. Murthy that at the graduation time, we present our students not only with their diploma, degree, medals, but these students may also be given Mahatma's autobiography. My experiments with the truth, knowing truth, being truthful, trying to implement truth in what we do, which in simple terms is altruism. Altruism translated equals to non-exploitation. Let us not exploit others for our benefit. Let us not exploit the environment to destroy the planet. Non-exploitation is the essence of altruism. Altruism is the essence of Mahatma's philosophy. And therefore, I hope and trust all those of you who are graduating from this university, whether in medicine, management, sciences, arts, please remember, you were educated by an institution which is started in the name of Mahatma. And Mahatma's spirit is non-exploitation. Put yourself in the place of the other person and do what you can to help him than to make him help you. Putting others first, before the others before yourself, is the essence of Mahatma's teaching, is the essence of what Geetam tries to imbibe among our students. If you remember this one thing and do your little bit to serve the other person, I hope we have succeeded in our attempts to make Gandhi live with us. Thank you.
As wished by the Honorable Chancellor of Geetam, the students of Geetam University will certainly emerge from this institute of learning as creative and innovative individuals, ready to face the challenges of the world successfully and also try to establish a real democratic society based on the pillars of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for us to hear from the guiding spirit of Geetam. I request our beloved and honorable president of Geetam, Dr. MBBS Motigaru, to give his message on the occasion of 37 Foundation Day celebrations of Geetam.
Most distinguished Chief guest of the today, Dr. Takaki Kajita, the most respected Chancellor of this university, Professor Ramakrishna Rao garu, respected Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor M.S. Prasad Rao garu, Vice President of the Geetam Society, Professor Gangadhar Rao garu, and other respected Pro-Vice Chancellors, dignitaries, members of the management, members of the Board of Governors, Registrar, respected deans, professors, faculty, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear media friends. There is an occasion every year to celebrate this Foundation Day, to make an account of what we have done before and what we have to do in future. This year, particularly a very special year, very important year, Ketan feels proud to have our chief guest today, the most distinguished scientist, Kajita ji. What else is required for an educational institution rather than to achieve the greatest heights in innovations, in research, in proper findings to help the humanity, to help the nature, we're all being enriched with their hard work, and dedicated hard work like Professor Kajita ji. Unless people like them, they work, forgetting everything around them. Perhaps he is not forgetting today, he is remembering every day, today, all of us here, because he has taken a little bit of time to come over here to this country. You only arrived yesterday night, especially for this function. It shows his love for academics, his love for the university, his love for humanity. This is the greatest quality. Because many more students from Getam also should become like him one day and get Nobel Prizes to this university. Certainly we will bless all our students and all our teachers, the management, and the whole of city of Visakhapatnam is delighted and enlightened to receive you today. Getam, as our respected Chancellor and Vice Chancellor said, works for certain values, certain traditions, and we never compromise in our approach. We always take the right path, that is the Gandhian path, to achieve our goals. Getam University is very young. It's very young. He comes from one of the oldest universities, University of Tokyo. He has produced several Nobel laureates. And I am really very jealous of him, Kajitaji, because his mentor was also a Nobel Prize winner. And such are the tradition of that university, and that university has produced several illuminaries, several greatest people, greatest scientists, academicians, politicians. Getam University, in a short span of time, it's only about 36, 37 years, but it has its credit to produce some of the CEOs world over. Some of the global companies are being manned by these students from this university. Alumni of this university occupy the highest positions world over. And that way we are being enriched. But there is a long way, long path to go. That what we have done is only an admission test. We have been admitted into the higher education. From this place to reach that goal the pinnacle height, Himalayan heights. That's the goal. That's the Nobel Prize is the goal for our students and our teachers. One day, certainly, sir, we will repeat that, what you have done. And that day again we invite you, sir, to our campus. Please accept our invitation to be with us. So that with this encouragement, our teachers and students will struggle hard to achieve the expected results. It's not easy. It's not an easy task. It's not by spending time alone will not come. One must have the dedication, inspiration, and futuristic ideas. With all these things, if you imbibe yourself with these values and with these ideas, then it's not impossible. It's possible. Kindly think it over, all of you, and you have all been blessed. It's very difficult to see a Nobel Prize winner. You have seen now here how smart, how smiling he is here. He came to all to bless us, bless this university, bless the teachers, the students, and inspire all of us. He has taken all the trouble. I really very happy and very grateful to you, sir, for accepting our invitation to receive our award. It came today. I truly believe that it is because of your academic interest, because of your interest in the student community, because your values towards the future society, because of your interest in research findings, to share your ideas you have come. That's how it has been done, to take the trouble of coming from all the way from Tokyo. Long back I had been to Tokyo. I visited the greatest university. At that time we were not a university. I thought that day, one day or other, we should also start a university. We should also produce eminent people, eminent politicians, eminent scientists, eminent academicians, eminent business people. That's what we are all thinking towards that goal, sir. And people like you around in the country of Japan, how Japan became the greatest country in the world. I never say that America is the greatest country. It's Japan that is the greatest country in the world. Because having a big mass, more people, more land, more money, America can become. America can become a great country in warfare. Not in the academic field or scientific field or research field or with human values. They measure everything with money. But Japanese tradition is very near to our Indian traditions. When I visited one of their families, that's because at that time I was in the shrimp trade. Fish and shrimp I used to export to Tokyo. So I visited twice, thrice at that time. And that buyer has taken me to his house and is to show his parents to me how simple they are, how friendly, how affectionate they are. That affection, that's the link between India and Japan today, because it's that tradition. We also respect our elders. We always keep our elders, bow down our head before the elders. That's the Japanese. We have to learn many more things from them, from you, sir. And you know how that country was rebuilt from 1947 to this 2017, 70 years. but we could not able to do anything in this country because that seriousness, that business economy, that research, that values, that all that put together made that country one of the richest countries, great countries, and in their total money income, they are the biggest people. And we are nowhere in this country. We are very rich in our population. That richness should contribute this greatest country today having the largest population of youngsters. That's an asset to India. That asset of today, this country should convert tomorrow to become the greatest country and in par with Japan and America. I am really happy today to see you all here, to say these few words, for giving me this opportunity. I thank you all for this opportunity.
It's been said, when you learn, teach. When you get, give. This is what exactly one notices in the gestures of our Honorable President, Dr. MBBS Modigaru. The very grandeur and poise of our President certainly inspires everyone. Thank you very much, sir. The primary objective of Geetham University is to equip the students with all the necessary skills to live their lives in a disciplined manner. Thus, it focuses on enhancing the communicative abilities of the students and to make them vocally eloquent persons. The power of elocution has reached the heights of glory, be it in academics, politics, media, and corporate sector. On its foundation day, every year, Geetham presents Best Student Speaker Awards to encourage and instill confidence in the students. Now, the first Best Student Speaker Award for 2017 goes to Miss S. Ravina Reddy. The youngest among her batchmates from the youngest of the constituent institutions of Geetham University, Miss S. Ravina Reddy, studying BA Social Science third year at Geetham School of Gandhian Studies, is gifted with intellect, endowed with an openness to learning, and above all, a rare attitude of humility. A state-level tennis player and a 9 GPA student, Ravina is blessed with clarity of thought, a lucid focus on goals, and a hard-working nature. A voracious reader and an analytical thinker, Ravina had honed her oratory skills, embellished by a broad-based knowledge of current affairs. A combination of grace, poise, and confidence, Ravina believes in communicating with commitment and had won the Best Student Speaker Award by consensus among the panel of eminent judges. Now I request our President to give her a cash prize of rupees 20,000 and a certificate of appreciation.
ఒకవేళ పీపీటీ నేను మార్చాక రిమోట్ కావాల్సి వస్తే నేను చెప్తాను.
The second Best Student Speaker Award for 2017 goes to Mr. G. Sai Abhignya. Guru Sai Abhignya was born on 2nd August 1998 in Anantapur and was brought up in New Delhi. He started public speaking from the age of 10. Studied up to 10th class in Andhra Education Society, N.T. Ramarao Memorial Senior Secondary School, New Delhi, and completed intermediate from Sri Chaitanya Junior College, Guntur. Now pursuing BTech in second year in Geetham School of Technology, Geetham University, Bangalore, in CC branch. Having been participating in inter-school debate competitions from 8th standard to 10th standard, winning the prizes first, second, and respectively. Participated in zonal level debate and extemporary competitions of West Zone, New Delhi, and stood in extempore competition in 2013. Given a presentation on Srinivasa Ramanujan on National Mathematics Day on 22nd December 2016 and got the Best Presentation prize. After completing his B.Tech, he wants to become an IAS officer and wants to serve the nation. I request the Honorable President to give him a cash prize of Rs 15,000 along with a certificate of appreciation. The third Best Student Speaker Award for 2017 goes to Ms. Asta Pandey. Asta Pandey, pursuing her third year BA LLB Honours from School of Law, Visakhapatnam, was born on 18 September in Ranchi, Jharkhand. She pursued her 10th as well as her 12th from Jawahar Vidya Mandir, Shamli, Ranchi, taking mathematics, physics, chemistry and economics in her class 12. Her quest for seeing justice done and social inequalities and wrongs addressed made her choose law, the most appropriate field towards this end. She is right now halfway through her course and shows much promise. After graduating in law, she wants to become a judge to translate her ambition and her father's dreams into reality. She is an avid reader, enjoys traveling and listening to music. We wish her all the best. Now she is receiving a cash prize of Rs 10,000 along with a certificate of appreciation. Now invite Mr. Hemant Gattamaneni, 4th year B.Tech student, Hyderabad Geetham campus, to come on to the dais. And he has made Lord Buddha statue a micro art on piece of chalk, which is being presented to Dr. Takaki Kajita. Geetham aims at preparing the young to educate themselves throughout their lives. The uniqueness of Geetham's approach in nurturing and training the young blends with the ideal that the great end of education is to create a humane society. This is possible at Geetham with its prudent, diligent, determined, and committed teachers. On its foundation day, Geetham University is extremely happy to felicitate the teachers of excellence and dedication. I now invite Dr. Rosita Joseph to present the awardees.
Dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you Professor V. Srinivas, the recipient of the Best Teacher Award 2017. Professor V. Srinivas, Head of the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Geetham Institute of Technology, joined Geetham in 1999 and rose to the rank of professor in 2010. He completed his Master's in Engineering with a specialization in heat transfer from Andhra University and his PhD in Energy Systems from Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University, Hyderabad. Professor Srinivas has done extensive and path-breaking research in the areas of heat transfer in two-phase flow, compact heat exchangers, nanotribology, nanofluid heat transfer, and nanocoatings. He has to his credit 25 papers in SCI and Scopus indexed international journals and is a reviewer for prestigious journals published by Wiley, Elsevier, and Taylor and Francis. He has been co-investigator and principal investigator for 9 major consultancy and industry research projects sponsored by the Naval Science and Technological Laboratories, Vehicle Research and Development Organization of the DRDO, and Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited. He has filed 4 patents in his specialized research areas. A dedicated and dynamic teacher, much admired by students and colleagues, Professor Srinivas has served as coordinator of the Fund for Improvement of Science and Technology Infrastructure and as director of consultancy projects and collaborations at Geetham. He is currently director, Central Research Laboratories. Indeed, Professor Srinivas, with his passion for teaching and research of the highest standards and his numerous remarkable achievements, is an asset to the university. Geetham University is pleased to honor Professor V. Srinivas with the Best Teacher Award 2017 on this 37th Foundation Day. May I now have the honor of presenting to you Professor D. Elizabeth Rani, the next recipient of the Best Teacher Award 2017. Professor D. Elizabeth Rani is head of the Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, Geetham Institute of Technology. She graduated from Madurai Kamaraj University in 1982, obtained her MTech in 1984 from PSG Tech Coimbatore and PhD from Andhra University in 2003. She began her career as a teacher in 1984 at the Government College of Engineering, Tirunelveli, and in 1989 she joined Geetham Visakhapatnam as lecturer in the ECE department. With 33 years of teaching experience, Professor Elizabeth Rani has been serving in various responsible positions at GIT. As head of the Department of Electronics and Instrumentation Engineering, she has organized numerous conferences, workshops, guest lectures, and student fests for the benefit of faculty and students. She has dedicated herself to creating an inviting environment where students feel comfortable in sharing and developing their ideas. She is an approachable teacher who relates well to students and teaches with compassion, helping them to engage fully in their learning. 5 PhDs have been awarded under her guidance. She has completed 1 UGC major research project and has published more than 50 journal papers and conference presentations. A unique combination of discipline and warmth, she is a role model for both faculty and students. Geetham University wishes all success and prosperity to Professor D. Elizabeth Rani on the occasion of honoring her with the Best Teacher Award 2017 on this 37th Geetham Foundation Day. I now invite Dr. Chitra Krishnan to present the citation for the next recipient.
Dignitaries on the dais, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you Professor Shekhar Taluri, recipient of the Best Teacher Award for 2017 on the 37th Geetham Foundation Day. Professor Shekhar Taluri, Department of Biotechnology, Geetham Institute of Technology, graduated from Bhopal University in 1980. He obtained an MSc in chemistry from IIT Delhi in 1984 and was awarded PhD by Cornell University, New York in 1993. With a specialization in protein structure, he served as a research fellow at the famous Harvard Medical School, Boston. A passionate teacher, he joined Geetham in 1998. Professor Shekhar Taluri has to his credit 15 papers in reputed journals and 1 book. He has completed 1 major research project and has organized many national and international conferences, workshops, and guest lectures. He has also filed a patent for a device to diagnose tuberculosis and other major diseases. He was listed as one among the IBC leading scientists of the world in 2009. Geetham University wishes all success and prosperity to Professor Shekhar Taluri as he is being honored with the Best Teacher Award 2017 on the 37th Geetham Foundation Day. The management and staff of Geetham University wish him all the best in the years to come. I now invite Dr. Shalini Bajpai to present the citation for the next recipient.
Dignitaries on dais, ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present to you Dr. U.V. Adinarayana Rao, the recipient of Best Teacher Award at the 37th Geetham Foundation Day Celebrations 2017. Dr. U.V. Adinarayana Rao, Associate Professor, Department of Operations, Geetham Institute of Management, joined Geetham in 2009 after a 2-year stint at the University of Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. He completed his bachelor's in civil engineering and master's in business administration from Andhra University. He was awarded PhD by Andhra University for his work on internet marketing strategies of e-business organizations in 2004. He has over 22 years of teaching experience in operations research at various institutions in India and abroad, including those in Africa and University of Papua New Guinea. An empathetic and committed teacher, he has served in various responsible positions at Geetham Institute of Management, including MBA Program Coordinator, Coordinator Consultancy and Projects, as well as Nodal Officer. He is currently Assistant Principal GIM. Dr. Adinarayana Rao has to his credit 3 books, 15 research papers in reputed journals, and over 7 research and consultancy projects with NTPC Simhadri and other organizations. He has also presented papers at prestigious national and international conferences. Geetham University is pleased to honor Dr. U.V. Adinarayana Rao with the Best Teacher Award 2017 on its 37th Foundation Day. He was a gold medalist. Dr. U.V. Adinarayana Rao was a host. Yes, sir. Dr. U.V. Adinarayana Rao studied in this university only, and he's a old student of this university, as told by our beloved president just now. Now, I invite Dr. Sushma Raj to present the citation for the next recipient.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present you Professor Mathrusri Annapurna, the recipient of the Best Teacher Award for the year 2017. Professor Mathrusri Annapurna, Geetham Institute of Pharmacy, completed her B.Pharm and M.Pharm from Andhra University and PhD in 2006 from Berhampur University, Odisha. She received the Professor S. Rangaswamy Memorial Gold Medal in 1993 from Andhra University. Professor Annapurna started her career as lecturer in 1993 at Roland Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Odisha, and was eventually promoted as professor in 2006 and continued her services as head of the department till 2011. She joined Geetham Institute of Pharmacy as a professor in March 2011 in the Department of Pharmaceutical Analysis and Quality Assurance. Besides completing a major UGC research paper on analytical stress testing, she also has published a book and has numerous research papers and conference presentations to her credit. Her areas of research include analytical method development, validation, and stability studies of drugs using spectrophotometry. In addition to academic and research pursuits, she has also been very active in assisting the administration towards bringing out the best talents among the students, research scholars, and young faculty. She stands head and shoulders above the rest in teaching, research, and extension, and is an asset to the university. With her ever-cheerful countenance, she willingly accepts to work beyond the classroom. She is highly amicable and always maintains good relations with her colleagues, superiors, and students. Geetham University is pleased to honor Professor M. Annapurna with the Best Teacher Award 2017 on the occasion of its 37th Foundation Day. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, the splendid structure of Geetham draws its strength from the sincerity of its supporting staff. With their steadfast support, it has been possible for Geetham to blossom into a glorious university. In recognition of their service, Geetham takes pleasure in felicitating the dedicated supporting staff. I now invite Dr. Rosita Joseph to present the awardees.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you Shri P.N.R. Govindarajulu, the recipient of the Best Supporting Staff Award 2017. Shri P.N.R. Govindarajulu, Deputy Executive Engineer, Department of Civil Engineering, Geetham Institute of Technology, Visakhapatnam, is a civil engineer with a B.Tech and a diploma in civil engineering. He has also enhanced his knowledge with additional courses in AutoCAD, Total Station, and 3D civil software. Prior to joining Geetham, he was associated with the Military Engineering Service of the Indian Navy in the construction of the naval quarters and the Kendriya Vidyalaya at NAD Visakhapatnam. He then joined VBC Industries Limited at Srikakulam in 1991 and worked on several important projects such as the construction of the ammonium nitrate and nitric acid plant and the construction of the Coca-Cola plant and VBC export works. He was deputed to Geetham in 1995 to look after civil works and served as senior civil supervisor from 1995 to 2008. In 2009, he was promoted to the rank of assistant engineer and further rose to the position of deputy executive engineer in 2011. Sri Govindrajulu is highly admired by colleagues, superiors, and subordinates. His total dedication and commitment in discharging his responsibilities is indeed inspiring. He is happily married to Srimati P. Vijayalakshmi and is blessed with 2 daughters, Ms. P. Aishwarya, who is an engineer with Wipro, and Ms. P. Teja Bhavani, who is pursuing her engineering. Geetham University is pleased to honor Sri P.N.R. Govindrajulu with the Best Supporting Staff Award 2017 in recognition of his sterling services. We wish him all the very best in the years to come. May I now invite Dr. Chitra Krishnan to present the citation for the next recipient.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you Ms. Buddharaju Rama Devi, recipient of the Best Supporting Staff Award 2017. Ms. Buddharaju Rama Devi holds an MCom degree from Andhra University. Armed with a postgraduate diploma in computer applications, Ms. Rama Devi began her long innings at Geetham University from the year 1993 when she joined as a junior assistant at the Knowledge Resource Center. Thereafter, she worked in several departments of the university, such as the principal's office at the Geetham Institute of Technology from 1994 to 1998, the Mechanical and Production Engineering Department from 1998 to 2006, the Computer Science and Engineering Department from 2006 to 2010, and finally, the School of Architecture in the year 2010. She was subsequently promoted as a senior assistant in the year 2014. Ms. Rama Devi is a dynamic and outstanding administrative staff member whose contribution to the university is highly commendable. She has played a very active role in assisting the administration in all works related to admission, establishment works, accounts, etc. She exhibits a rare dedication, devotion, and discipline in discharging her duties to the full. An amicable personality, she continues to maintain good relations with her colleagues, superiors, and students alike. Geetham University takes pleasure in honoring Ms. Buddharaju Rama Devi with the Best Supporting Staff Award on this 37th Geetham Foundation Day 2017. It is hoped that this award, in recognition of her distinguished services to Geetham, will reinvigorate her to further improve her performance levels. The management and staff of Geetham University wish her all the best in the years to come. I now invite Dr. Shalini Bajpai to present the citation for the next recipient.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you Sri Mudunuru Ramaraju, the recipient of the Best Supporting Staff Award at the 37th Geetham Foundation Day Celebration 2017. Sri Mudunuru Ramaraju was born in a village of Vijayanagaram district. He joined the Department of Civil Engineering at Geetham University in the year 1981 under the mentorship of Professor M.S. Raju, former principal of the College of Engineering. Since then, he has worked tirelessly for the successful functioning of the department, totaling a long association of more than 36 years. He has been associated with the Department of Mechanical Engineering for a short tenure. A compassionate human being, Mr. Ram Raju is ever ready to offer his invaluable assistance to the department at all times. Soft-spoken and self-composed, he is cordial and friendly with the faculty and students alike. He is an outstanding role model of sincerity, punctuality, obedience, and places great importance on cleanliness, a fact well demonstrated by the ambience in the department. His spouse, Mrs. M. Parvatama, is a supporting homemaker, and he is blessed with 2 children. The older one being Sri Ramakrishna, who works in the software sector, and the younger one, Sri Sasi, who is still studying. His ebullient personality and enthusiasm in discharging his duties in the best manner possible is an example to all the staff members of Geetham University. Geetham University takes pleasure in honoring Sri Mudunuru Ramaraju with the Best Supporting Staff Award on this 37th Geetham Foundation Day. It is hoped that this award, in recognition of his distinguished services to Geetham, will reinvigorate him to further improve his performance levels. The management and staff of Geetham University wish him all the best in the years to come. I now invite Dr. Sushma Raj to present the citation for the next recipient.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you Sri P. Venkateshwar Rao, the recipient of the Best Supporting Staff Award for the year 2017. Sri P. Venkateshwar Rao is a diligent garden supervisor in grade 1 and a man who understands nature and who confines its beauty in this green campus. Geetham University has its uniqueness in its greenery in the neighborhood of green hillocks. This eco-friendly, cogent ambience is due to the incessant efforts put in by a few staff, one of whom is Sri P. Venkateshwar Rao. Born in Koruprolu, Rayavaram Mandal, Vishakhapatnam, Sri Venkateshwar Rao finished his BA and quickly moved up the ranks at Geetham. He joined Geetham in the year 2000 as a daily wage earner at the Geetham plantation and subsequently became a senior supervisor in the year 2000. He then rose to becoming a garden supervisor grade 2 in 2009, and then in 2010 he was promoted as a grade 1 garden supervisor. He has attended garden development programs at Hyderabad and Bengaluru. His spouse, Mrs. P. Ratnamala, is a supportive homemaker, and he is blessed with 2 children. Geetham University takes pleasure in honoring a conscientious green activist, Sri P. Venkateshwar Rao, on the occasion of its 37th Geetham Foundation Day 2017. We hope that this award, in recognition of his meticulous services to Geetham, will reinvigorate him to further improve his performance in the years to come. the management and staff of Geetham University wish him all the very best. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me immense happiness to announce that Geetham School of Gandhian Studies is going to start a diploma in Japanese language. Now, I request the esteemed chief guest of the day, Dr. Takaki Kajita, to release the syllabus of the diploma in Japanese language. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really a matter of pride that Geetham produces a great number of artists also. Mr. Uttam, a student of Geetham, drew the portrait of the esteemed chief guest of our day, Dr. Takaki Kajita. May I request the Honorable President to present the portrait to the esteemed chief guest, Dr. Takaki Kajita. Ladies and gentlemen, the 37th Foundation Day celebrations of Geetham are unique, as we have the honor of having an ardent researcher and the recipient of the coveted Nobel Prize. I now invite Professor K. Sivaram Krishna, Pro Vice Chancellor of Geetham, to present the citation for Dr. Takaki Kajita.
Mr. President, I deem it an honor and a privilege to present before you Dr. Takaki Kajita, a world-renowned scientist, a brilliant physicist, researcher, and academician, and a recipient of prestigious Nobel Prize for the revolutionary research in cosmic ray physics and elementary particle physics. The numerous outstanding achievements of this dedicated genius are a great boon and inspiration for the future of humankind. Born on 9th March 1959 in the small city of Higashi Matsuyama in the central Kanto region of Japan, Dr. Takaki Kajita grew up in the peaceful environment of the countryside surrounded by rice fields on the north, east, and south. He went to Kowai High School, where he spent a lot of time practicing Koyodo and Japanese archery. In high school, he developed a deep interest in physics and decided to learn physics in the 4-year graduate course at Saitama University near Tokyo. His passion for the subject soon deepened and pursued his study of physics at the postgraduate level also, beginning in April of 1981, and received his master's in science from the University of Tokyo in 1983. He was particularly interested in experimental particle physics. Professor Masayoshi Koshiba, himself a Nobel laureate, accepted Dr. Kajita as a student in his group at University of Tokyo. Here, inspired by Katsushi Arisaka, another student in Professor Koshiba group, he joined the team working on the Komiko nucleono delay experiment of Kamiokade. This Kamiokade is a large water tank detector containing 3,000 tons of pure water placed deep underground in the Kamika mine. It is designed to detect Irinova light from charged particles moving in water. He immensely enjoyed the preparation work of Kamikade. In the early spring of 1983, Dr. Kajita's team started the construction work on the Kamikade proton decay detector in Kamioka. It took almost 4 months to finish building the detector. After it was filled with water, data taking with the Kamioka experiment began in early July of 1983. Soon after the beginning of the data gathering, he came back to Tokyo to search for proton decays in the Kamioka data. Dr. Takaki Kajita finally decided to be a professional physicist as a result of experiencing the complete process of preparation, construction, and data analysis of an experiment through his work with Kamioka. In March 1986, he received his PhD from the University of Tokyo under the guidance of Professor Masayoshi Koshiba for his thesis titled Search for Nucleono Decays into Anti-Neutron plus Mesons. Professor Koshiba offered Dr. Kajita a position as a research associate at the International Center for Elementary Particle Physics of the University of Tokyo, where he could carry out crucial initial studies related to Kamioka, and Dr. Takaki Kajita discovered neutrino oscillations in the atmospheric neutrinos. Neutrinos are subatomic particles that travel at the speed of light. This discovery implied the existence of finite neutron masses. Through their observations at Kamioka, Dr. Kajita and his collaborators first discovered that flux of mononeutrino is significantly less than theoretically expected. Dr. Kajita established a method for distinguishing electrons and muons using Erikovo light patterns. With it, he determined the type of neutrino that reacts with water and found the ratio between the munoneutrino and electrononeutrino to be about 60% of the theoretical prediction. And this is mostly due to the deficit of munoneutrons. Further, he analyzed the data assuming the deficit to be caused by neutrino oscillations and obtained the range of oscillation parameters. In April 1988, Dr. Kajita moved to Institute for Cosmic Ray Research as a research associate working on the successor experiment of Kodikomo, the much larger Super Kodikomo. The on-site construction of International Super Kamioka detector started in April 1995. The Kajita moved to Kamioka for the construction of the detector and worked underground for a year. The construction was completed at the end of March 1996. After a year of planning and construction, the Super Kamioka experiment started taking precisely on schedule at the stroke of midnight began April 1, 1996. Since then, until 2008, Dr. Kajita, along with Edgarons from Boston University, led the atmospheric neutrino analysis. Dr. Kajita made more detailed observations of atmospheric neutrinos and confirmed that the anomalous deficit of their flux is caused by neutrino oscillations. The discovery of neutrino oscillations implies that neutrinos have finite masses. Neutrino masses used to be regarded as zero because they are below the measurement limit of conventional methods. Therefore, it is greatly significant that decisive evidence of the existence of neutrino masses was obtained through Dr. Kajita's experiments, and his discovery created a lot of ripples among the scientific community worldwide. Dr. Takaki Kajita has held numerous academic and administrative positions in a long and checkered career, which include Research Associate, International Center for Elementary Particle Physics, Research Associate, Institute for Cosmic Ray Research, the University of Tokyo, Associate Professor, Institute for Cosmic Ray Research, the University of Tokyo, Associate Professor, Komiko Observatory, ICRR, the University of Tokyo, Professor, Research Center for Cosmic Neutrino, ICRR, the University of Tokyo, Director, Research Center for Cosmic Neutrino, ICRR, the University of Tokyo, Director, Institute for Cosmic Ray Research, the University of Tokyo, Special University Professor and Distinguished Professor. With his specialization in cosmic ray physics, Dr. Takaaki Kajita is also the author of numerous epoch-making research papers. He has been a central figure in a series of studies on atmospheric neutrinos among many important research subjects, advanced Komekodo and super Komekodo. Some of his major research articles include atmospheric neutrino results from super Komekodo and Komekodo evidence for isolations 1999, observation of atmospheric neutrinos 2001, evidence for isolation of atmospheric neutrinos 1998, atmospheric munoneutrino electroneutrinos ratio in the multi-GeV energy range 1994, observation of B8 solar neutrinos in the study of atmospheric neutrino flux 1998, and observation of neutrino burst from supernova SIV 1987A 1987. Innumerable awards and honors have been bestowed on Dr. Takaaki Kajita in recognition of a lifetime dedicated to research of the highest standards. The Asahi Prize 1988, the Bruno Rossi Prize 1989, the 45th Nishina Memorial Prize 1999, the WKH Fonofsky Prize 2002, the Japan Academy Prize 2012, the Julius Swiss Prize 2013, the Breakthrough Prize in Fundamental Physics 2015, the Order of Culture and Person of Culture Merit 2015, Harvard Foundation Scientist of the Year in 2016, and numerous other prestigious prizes have come his way. Dr. Kajita also shared the 2016 Fundamental Physics Prize with McDonald. The crowning glory of his career is the 2015 Nobel Prize in Physics for his revolutionary neutrino experiment at the Komekodo and Super Komekodo detectors in the Komeko mines of Japan. The Kajita shared the Nobel Prize in Physics with Canada Arthur B. MacDonald for showing experimentally the neutrons have mass. Kajita and MacDonald showed that the laws of elementary particles have to be understood more deeply because the standard model of physics has proven to be incomplete. Dr. Kajita's work in cosmic ray physics and elementary particle physics is thus indeed path-breaking for the future humankind. An honorary member of a Physical Society of Japan, he has been awarded doctorates by Padova University, Aligarh Muslim University, University of Naples, Federica, University of Delhi, University of Pergu, and Valtech Dr. RR and DR, Dr. SR University, to name just a few. A man of deep humility and totally committed to the cause of science for furthering the progress of mankind, Dr. Kajita has great expectations from and is very encouraging to young scientists. A leader who overcome the number of challenges in life and rose from a humble background to become one of the greatest scientist genius of all times. He is ever grateful to his wife, Ms. Michikono Kajika, who has supported him all through the ups and downs of life with immense patience. He has given to humanity some of the most promising, powerful, versatile, and efficient ways to explore the universe. This peerless scientist continues to dream of more and more research, and his work shall continue to guide and inspire generations the world over. In recognition of Dr. Takaaki Kajita's seminal contributions to the field of science and technology in general, and for his outstanding achievements in cosmic ray and elementary particle physics in particular, Geetham University humbly proposes to honor this great scientist of unmatched caliber and commitment with the presentation of Geetham Foundation Annual Day 2017. The university wholeheartedly thanks Dr. Takaaki Kajita for gracefully consenting to accept this award. Mr. President, may I now request you to have the honor of presenting the Geetham Foundation Annual Day 2017 to Dr. Takaaki Kajita. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. Takaki Kajita to present Geetham Foundation Annual Endowment Lecture.
President of Geetham, Dr. MVVS Marty, Chancellor Professor K. Ramakrishna Rao, Vice Chancellor Professor M.S. Prasada Rao, distinguished faculties, ladies and gentlemen. It is great honor for me to receive the prestigious Geetham Foundation Award. Thank you very much. Now, this afternoon, I want to talk about small neutrino masses. Well, in fact, in this talk, I want to talk about my experience related to the discovery of neutrino mass. This is the outline of this talk. First, I have a brief introduction on neutrinos and atmospheric neutrinos. Then, I want to move on to the works related to my research. First one is the atmospheric muon neutrino deficit, discovery of neutrino oscillations. Then I want to discuss a little bit on the small neutrino mass. And before finishing this talk, I want to mention the possibilities in the future neutrino oscillation experiments. Okay, now introduction. So I want to talk about the neutrinos and atmospheric neutrinos. Well, of course, some of you are not physicists, therefore I think I need to tell you what are neutrinos. Neutrinos are elementary particles like electrons and quarks. They have no electric charge, and in fact, this has a significant consequence. Neutrinos can easily penetrate even through the Earth. And well, related to the later discussions, I want to mention that neutrinos have, like the other particles, three types or three flavors, namely electron neutrinos, muon neutrinos, and tau neutrinos. And I want to mention that for many years, neutrinos are assumed to have no mass. Now, I have been working on atmospheric neutrinos, and I want to tell you how these neutrinos are produced. Well, cosmic ray particles, well, they are high energy protons or helium nuclei, or even in some cases, iron nuclei. They come into the atmosphere. And if they come to the atmosphere, they interact with the air nucleus and produces, well, typically produces pions. And these pions decay to muons, and muons are unstable, therefore muons decay to electrons. And during this decay chain, neutrinos are produced, and they are observed in underground detectors. In fact, I want to mention that we knew the existence of atmospheric neutrinos for more than 50 years. In 1965, two experiments observed atmospheric neutrinos for the first time. They were located extremely deep in underground, and one experiment was carried out in South Africa, and the other was carried out here in India. So, well, based on these pioneering experiments, we knew that atmospheric neutrinos exist. Now, I want to move on to works related to my research. And, well, actually, I have been working in Kamioka, and the first experiment I was involved was the Kamiokande experiment. And, well, I want to mention the reason or scientific reason for constructing the Kamiokande experiment. About 40 years ago, there was a new theory called grand unified theory that predicted protons and neutrons should decay with the lifetime of about 10 to 30 years, which is an extremely long lifetime. But, well, this prediction was extremely important scientifically. Therefore, several proton decay experiments began in the early 80s, and one of them was the Kamiokande experiment. And as you can see, it was a large water tank. The water tank itself had about 16 meters in diameter and 16 meters in height, and it contained about 3,000 tons of water. And, well, as you can see, the inner surface of the tank was instrumented with photodetectors. And if a charged particle propagates in the water, they emit Cherenkov light, and these Cherenkov light are detected by the photodetectors instrumented on the walls. That way, we expected to observe proton decays. Now, some of you may know, or some of you may not know, where is Kamioka? Well, this is the location of the Kamiokande experiment, and this photo shows the site. Well, it is a beautiful site, and you can see that there's not much human activity. But, well, there are some human activities, and we were able to do the experiment there. Well, of course, we have to construct the detector in order to do the experiment. So in the spring of 1983, we worked in underground in Kamioka to construct the Kamiokande detector. This photo was taken at that time, and, well, basically, these numbers of people were the people who constructed the Kamiokande detector, and you can see in the middle Professor Koshiba, who was my thesis advisor and also the 2002 Nobel Prize winner. So we were a small team, and also you notice that we wear safety hat and rubber boots and so on. Actually, this was required because we had to go underground in the mine with the miners. So this is the requirement. And in underground, well, we constructed the detector. And this photo was taken during the construction of the Kamiokande detector. As I said, Kamiokande tank had a 16 meter high. Well, actually 16 meter high is really high. Therefore, we have to seriously consider how to install the photodetectors onto the wall. And the solution we had was like that. We decided to use rubber boat. Well, unfortunately, rubber boats are not an ideal working conditions, but anyway, that was better than falling down from the 60-meter high. So anyway, with this, we were able to complete the construction of the Kamiokande detector with maybe 3-4 months of work. And the experiment started in July 1983, and we wanted to observe proton decays. However, we were unable to observe proton decays. Instead, what we observed was the atmospheric neutrinos. But anyway, we continued to search for proton decays, but as time goes, the number of background events that were proton decays is increasing. Therefore, we had to improve the software to analyze the data. Therefore, soon after getting PhD in 1986, I began to improve the analysis software in order to improve the proton decay analysis. So, after this improvement, as a test of one of the new software, the neutrino flavor or neutrino type was studied for the atmospheric neutrino events that were already observed in the Kamiokande experiment. Then it was found that the number of muon neutrino events was much fewer than expected. Well, this was really an unexpected result. And in particular, at that time, I was essentially testing the new software. And the new software told us that there is something strange in the data. This suggested that my software was wrong. And in fact, I thought there must be something wrong in the analysis software or maybe somewhere else. So we decided to do a serious study to find out the mistake. Oh, by the way, shown in the right is the event patterns observed in Kamiokande. The upper one is the typical electron neutrino event, and the lower one is the typical muon neutrino event. And the test told us that there is a deficit of muon neutrino interactions. Anyway, we worked hard trying to find out the mistakes. But after about 1 year of studies, we were unable to find any mistake. Therefore, we concluded that the muon neutrino deficit cannot be due to any major problem in the data analysis nor the simulation. So we decided to publish a paper, and here I show you the conclusion of the paper, or most important data presented at the paper. Well, actually, we presented the number of observed electron neutrino events and muon neutrino events, and compared with the predicted number of events. So you can see easily that muon neutrino events had a significant deficit compared with the predicted number. And the conclusion of the paper was like that. We are unable to explain the data as the result of systematic detector effects or uncertainties in the atmospheric neutrino fluxes, some as yet unaccounted for physics, such as neutrino oscillations
might explain the data. So, well, this was the beginning of the atmospheric muon neutrino deficit. And, well, I want to mention that I was most excited with the possibility of neutrino oscillations with large mixing angles. Namely, muon neutrino seems to oscillate maximally to the other neutrino type, which was not expected. And this gave me the strong motivation to concentrate on this study. Well, the Kamiokande paper was published in 1988, but for a few years, there was no supporting data from the other experiments. Only in 1991 and 92, another experiment, that was the IMB experiment, published a result that was consistent with the Kamiokande data. And in fact, well, by the way, this is the IMB experiment, another one in United States. And both of these experiments observed the significant muon neutrino deficit. By the way, I said that I was most excited with the possibility of neutrino oscillations. And at that time, well, neutrino oscillations was still one of the possibilities. But anyway, since some of you may have no idea what are neutrino oscillations, I want to tell you. Well, if neutrinos have mass, neutrinos change their flavor or type from one flavor to the other. For example, muon neutrinos could oscillate to tau neutrinos, and this graph shows an example of neutrino oscillations. A muon neutrino is produced at this point, then if they propagate in the vacuum, the survival probability of muon neutrinos goes down, and if they propagate further, the survival probability go back to unity, go down, go back. And if muon neutrino disappeared, at that time, tau neutrinos are appearing. This is neutrino oscillations, and we thought this could be the reason for muon neutrino deficit. But, as I said, in the data we showed in 1988, it was not possible to really conclude that the data shows neutrino oscillations. We thought, well, there were some other possibilities. Therefore, we thought we need to find conclusive evidence for neutrino oscillations. And we thought that way, well, cosmic ray particles come to the Earth from somewhere, and these particles enter into the atmosphere of the Earth. Well, atmospheric neutrinos are produced in every atmosphere in the Earth. Therefore, some of them are produced just above us, maybe 10, 20 kilometers above us. And these neutrinos can only travel 10, 20 kilometers before interacting in underground detector. Therefore, the travel length is too short, therefore they have no time to oscillate. However, neutrinos produced in the other side of the Earth, they have to travel long distances, typically 10,000 kilometers. Therefore, they may have enough time to oscillate. Therefore, we thought that we should observe the up versus down asymmetry of the atmospheric muon neutrino flux. Well, of course, we thought that way. Unfortunately, the Kamiokande detector was too small. It was only 3,000 tons. And in order to do this study, we needed much larger detector. And in fact, that was the Super Kamiokande detector. Now, I want to move on to the discovery of neutrino oscillations in Super Kamiokande. Super Kamiokande is a larger version of the Kamiokande experiment. It is a 50,000-ton water Cherenkov detector. The size of the detector is shown here. It is about 40 meters in diameter and 40 meters in height. And it is also constructed in 1,000 meters underground. And well, this is a large experiment. Therefore, we have lots of collaborators. At this moment, we have about 160 collaborators from 10 countries. And this photo shows the collaboration while we constructed the Super Kamiokande experiment. As you can see, compared with Kamiokande, many people worked in underground. In fact, well, typically every day, these numbers of people worked in underground in order to construct the Super Kamiokande experiment. And in fact, this year, we started the construction of the detector, and essentially we worked almost for 1 year in order to really complete the construction. And well, in January 1996, we were almost at the end of the construction phase. At that time, we started filling pure water into the Super Kamiokande tank. This photo was taken from the top of the tank, looking down the inside. And we started the experiment in April 96. And this experiment, or this detector, worked quite well from the beginning. And from the beginning, we observed these atmospheric neutrino events, about 10 events per day. And we analyzed these data, and actually, we were able to get an important result in 2 years. And we presented the first important result at the neutrino conference in June 98. And this was one of the transparencies we presented at that conference. And well, the upper one shows the distribution for electron neutrinos, and the lower one for muon neutrinos. And in fact, well, this distribution shows the arrival direction distribution. And cosine theta 1 means downgoing neutrinos, -1 means upward-going neutrinos, and 0 means neutrinos come from the horizon. And you can see there is a significant deficit of muon neutrinos for upward-going directions, while the data and the prediction agreed quite well for downgoing neutrinos. And this is, in fact, the effect we expected to observe for neutrino oscillations, namely neutrinos produced in the other side of the Earth oscillate, muon neutrino oscillate, tau neutrinos, go back to muon neutrinos, tau neutrinos, and so on. Therefore, at the super Kamiokande tank, the survival probability of muon neutrinos is essentially half, as shown in the data. So this was the evidence for neutrino oscillations. Well, I want to mention that we were honored to hear the President Clinton's talk at MIT's 98 commencement. Well, of course, the talk itself is long, so I just want to copy the part relevant to our result. He said, just yesterday in Japan, physicists announced a discovery that tiny neutrinos have mass. Now, that may not mean much to most Americans, but it may change our most fundamental theories, from the nature of the smallest subatomic particles to how the universe itself works, and indeed how it expands. Well, I think it was really an honor to hear the remark by President Clinton on the next day. Now, so that way, anyway, our announcement was accepted by the scientific community and also by President Clinton. So now, recalling our experiences, I have some messages to young researchers and students. First of all, I want you to understand that finding something new may take time. In our case, it took about 12 years from the initial hint of neutrino oscillations to the discovery of neutrino oscillations. Also, I want to mention that in many cases, it is very important that you work as a team. Ideas from various people are really important. Also, as a team, you can continue working even in very difficult situations. In fact, in Super Kamiokande, we have always collaborated with more than 100 people. Now, I want to move on to the other studies, and also I want to mention the importance of small neutrino mass. In fact, in the neutrino community, there was another problem. That was the solar neutrino problem. About 50 years ago, the first solar neutrino experiment was carried out in Hobbs-Lake in United States. And this experiment observed solar neutrinos successfully. However, the observed flux was only about 1/3 of the predicted solar neutrino flux. Anyway, because of the successful observation of solar neutrinos, Ray Davis, this person, received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2002. Anyway, the deficit of the solar neutrino flux was a significant problem, and the subsequent experiments in the 80s and 90s tried to find out what was the cause of the deficit. However, the physics community was not completely satisfied with the results from the experiments in the 80s and 90s. And then the snow experiment in Canada convincingly showed us that solar neutrino deficit was due to neutrino oscillations. In this experiment, they observed the electron neutrino flux, and independently, they observed the total neutrino flux. That was the sum of the electron neutrino flux, muon neutrino flux, and tau neutrino flux. And they told us if they observed the total neutrino flux, the observed flux was just consistent with the theory. However, if they observed electron neutrino flux only, the observed flux was about 1/3 of the prediction. And therefore, we were convinced that the solar neutrino deficit was due to neutrino oscillations. And due to this work, at McDonald received the Nobel Prize in Physics in 2015. Now, so far, I described the discovery of neutrino oscillations. And well, I mentioned that President Clinton mentioned our discovery, but I didn't tell you why the discovery of small neutrino masses are so important. Now, I want to tell you why we think that small neutrino masses are important. Now, here in this graph, I show you the masses of charged leptons, that means electrons and muons and so on, and quarks. So these are the masses of charged leptons and quarks. Now, after the discovery of neutrino oscillations, there was a lot of studies in neutrinos, and I think it's almost fair to show the neutrino masses itself on this plot. And they are here. So you notice that neutrino masses are much separated from other particles' mass. And if you carefully read the horizontal axis, you immediately notice that the neutrino masses are approximately or more than 10 billion times smaller than the corresponding masses of quarks and charged leptons. 10 billion, 10 orders of magnitude smaller. That is surprising, that is important. And because of this extremely small neutrino mass, we believe that this is the key to better understand elementary particles and the universe. Now, so far I have discussed the past and present status of neutrino oscillations. Now I want to briefly discuss what will be the future of neutrino oscillation experiments. Well, I said neutrino masses are very small, and well, I showed that this mass is larger than this mass, but actually this is unknown. Well, present data cannot tell if this mass is the heaviest or the lightest. So we need still the next generation experiment. And in fact, because this is very important, therefore there are several experiments that are trying to understand the neutrino mass order. And first, well, you can see this is the map of the next generation neutrino oscillation experiment trying to tell us the neutrino mass order. And well, one of them, you can see that one of them is planned in India. And I hope that the Indian physicists continue contributing to neutrino oscillation studies. Now, there are another important scientific questions. Well, this is simply a photo of the far universe. You can see a lot of galaxies, and we know that all these galaxies are made of matter. We know there is no galaxy made of antimatter. But this is a little bit strange. We know that our universe began with Big Bang. That was an extremely hot universe. And in this extremely hot universe, we naively expect there was an equal number of particles and the antiparticles. Because in the extremely hot universe, particles and the antiparticles are generated simultaneously, and if they meet each other, they disappear. Anyway, this kind of processes were occurring during the Big Bang, and we naively expect that there must be equal number of matter particles and antimatter particles. But now we see only matter particles in our universe. Why? Well, in a sense, we understand in the Big Bang universe, there was, say, 1 billion plus 1 matter particles and 1 billion antimatter particles, and the universe cools down. The matter particles and antimatter particles meet and annihilate and disappear. Therefore, the present universe is this one. So now it seems that we understand the matter dominance in the universe. However, well, of course, I'm still cheating because, well, I said there should have been equal number of matter particles and antimatter particles. Well, in this figure, the number of matter particles and the antimatter particles are almost equal, but not exactly. And we think that we need to explain why there was an extra one in the matter particles. And we think, this is just think, we think that neutrinos with very small masses might be the key to understand the big mystery of the matter in the universe. Therefore, we think that we should continue studying neutrinos. And, well, as a first step to understand this mystery, people are thinking to do the next generation neutrino oscillation experiments. And in fact, there are, well, at least 2 big projects that are going on or planned. And, well, in short, we'd like to observe if neutrino oscillations of neutrinos and those of antineutrinos are different. Anyway, this is not an easy experiment, and we need the next generation long baseline experiments with much higher performance neutrino detectors. So I think we have to keep working on neutrinos. Okay, let me summarize. Proton decay experiments in the 80s observed many contained atmospheric neutrino events and discovered the atmospheric neutrino deficit just essentially accidentally. Then in 1998, Super Kamiokande discovered neutrino oscillations, which shows that neutrinos have mass. I feel that I have been extremely lucky because I have been involved in the excitement of this discovery from the beginning. Also, it was found that solar neutrino deficit was due to neutrino oscillations. And since then, various experiments have studied neutrino oscillations. The discovery of small neutrino mass opened a window to study physics beyond the standard model of particle physics. So there are still many important measurements and discoveries to be done in neutrinos. And finally, I hope that young people join researches in science. That's all. Thank you very much for your attention.
Koko ni iru, minasan no hokara, kokoro kara kangesimasu. Dr. Kajita's discovery transcended the existing conventional theories and paved the way towards a new horizon in the world of particle physics. The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences, which awarded the Nobel Prize, said in a statement, "For particle physics, this was a historic discovery." On behalf of the gathering, I thank Dr. Takaki Kajita for inspiring the students and the young scientists of Geetham. Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much, sir. Now I invite Professor M. Pothiraju, Registrar, Geetham University, to propose vote of thanks.
Honorable President, Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Kajita, Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, members of the governing body, our most valued invited guests, my dear colleagues, students, press and media. On behalf of Geetham University, I deem it a privilege to profoundly thank Dr. Kajita ji for sparing his valuable time and being the chief guest of this 37th Foundation Day celebrations. Sir, Dr. Khatija ji, we are really enlightened by your most valuable endowment lecture on neutrino oscillations, and which is highly educative and inspiring for the researchers of the Geetham University. We cherish this moment, sir, in our memories. The entire Geetham family is highly obliged to Dr. M.V.S. Murthy garu, our beloved president, the guiding spirit of Geetham, for his unstinted support and encouragement in all our endeavors. Further, we also would like to acknowledge our gratitude to Honorable Chancellor Padma Shri Koner Ramakrishna Rao garu, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Prasad Rao garu, Pro Vice Chancellor Professor Kesav Ramakrishna garu, for guiding us in conducting this function so meticulously. We express our sincere thanks to all the dignitaries of the dais, the invitees, members of the Board of Management, Board of Governors, ladies and gentlemen, and press, including the electronic media, for their participation in this function and making it a grand success. An event like this cannot happen overnight. The proceedings started long ago. We have been backed up by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues from all the institutes, campus office, and students. I place on record my sincere gratitude to all of them. Thank you very much, and thank you one and all. Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, now this meeting will come to an end with our national anthem.
जनगणमनाधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता
and gentlemen, now the floor is open for cultural activities. I request all the guests, teachers and students to remain seated so as to enjoy the cultural activities. Thank you very much.